trip to these higher and lower Hail Marys, though.
Let's go.
As you mentioned, we're getting close to
Jimmy G.
Already.
Jimmy G at the Rams. Quarterback 12 for you. The experts like him at 14. It is so hard for me to trust Jimmy G these days. I go back and forth on him maybe more than any other quarterback in the league. You like him at the Rams this week. Why?
I do. Coming off 41 and then 37 pass attempts in back-to-back weeks, 296 and 303 yards, both season highs in back-to-back weeks. Did not throw 2 touchdowns in those weeks as well, 19, 17, 18 fantasy points. Top 9 QB in 3 straight weeks now. I don't mind it. The Rams certainly are good against the run, but they've given up the 2nd most points to wide receivers. I think with Christian McCaffrey now here, this is just going to be a pass. I shouldn't say pass happy. It's not a pass happy attack necessarily, but again, 41-37. And I think the Rams can also put up their points too. So I do like Jimmy G to chuck it at least 35 times here and have himself a pretty solid day. I think another top 10 quarterback performance is in his grasp for sure.
Daniel Jones at Seattle. You like him at quarterback 14, 4 spots below the experts. I haven't seen the list. I'm a little bit surprised that you're so much lower on him. And I'm not like a Daniel Jones stan by any means. So talk to me about this one.
Yeah, I mean, he's coming off, should we call him Daniel Vick at this point? 107 rushing yards last week, including a score on the ground as well. He's looking very mobile. Real life-wise, honestly, and fantasy-wise, clearly last week with quarterback 3 with 29 points, he's getting it done. He's certainly moving the chains on 3rd downs, looking solid. But he's been, so far this year, only 2 performances in the top 16 quarterbacks. 16, 22, 20, 8, 20, 17, 3. And now we're all locking him into our top 10. Yes, Seattle is a pretty solid matchup for quarterbacks, a top 10 matchup. Daniel Jones in a week with no Pat Mahomes, with no Justin Herbert, is he a fringe top 10 guy? Sure. But the Seattle defense has actually stifled up a bit, and Daniel Jones just hasn't been that great all season. So we're banking on another 100-yard and touchdown game on the ground. Could he do it? Sure. If you're desperate for a steamer, can you play Daniel Jones? Absolutely. But he's ranked above Jimmy G, who I have higher, and he's really ranked above just a lot of guys that I'd have higher than him. I mean, top 10 puts him ahead of Derek Carr, puts him ahead of Geno Smith. Both guys I would no-brainer have above Daniel Jones. So again, at 14, could you play him? Absolutely. He's in the range of starters here. But it feels too high for a guy that's had only 2 top 16 performances through 7 weeks so far this year.
That's a very convincing argument. You have swayed me, actually.
It's Daniel Jones.
No, you're right. You're right. It's recency bias. He had a big week last week. You're right.
Maybe he does it again.
Yeah, maybe he does. But look. I don't believe in the Giants, and they're 6-1. It's just there's some 6-1, 5-1 teams that I just don't think are very good. Hello, Vikings. Hello, Giants. Anyway, yeah, you've convinced me. Hail Mary, Justin Fields at Dallas, 35% rostered. I don't think much of this guy as a passer, but we saw against the Patriots, he can scramble and he can pick up yards on the ground. He does have legit Konami upside. That's for sure.
Absolutely. The whole thesis behind playing Daniel Jones right now is he's 4th in the NFL in projected, in terms of projected rushing pace for how many carries he's had this year. But who's 2nd is Justin Fields. So I'll go to the guy running it more often, in my opinion. 12 carries and then 14 carries this last week against New England. 12 of them were designed runs too. So they're starting to add this wrinkle to their playbook, and look at how much success they had after doing it. So you love to see them using him this way. And he's been the quarterback 12, quarterback 8, and quarterback 5. 3 straight top 12 games for Justin Fields. He's actually the quarterback 4 across the last 3 weeks, which is insane because it hasn't looked all that pretty, but that's the Konami code itself. Justin Fields has looked really, really solid. He does get a tough matchup against Dallas. There's no arguing that. It's not the best spot for him, but the rushing upside certainly is there. And then you look at his next 3 matchups. All are top 5 in points allowed to quarterbacks. Miami, number 5. Detroit, number 3. Atlanta, number 2. So if you use him this week, there's that rushing upside that creates a little bit of a floor. But even if not, even if you're stashing the guy, I think against Miami, Detroit, and Atlanta, he's going to be right in my top 12 quarterbacks for those 3 weeks, given that's how he's performing right now in tougher matchups. It just seems to be getting better and better by the week. I sneaky really like Justin Fields for the rest of the season, especially the next 3 weeks after this one, and could be a nice little plug-in if you're missing Mahomes or Herbert this week too.
Yeah, that's fantasy. He's not a very good quarterback, but he's putting up fantasy numbers. And that was the knock on Jalen Hurts for a while. Now he's actually a good quarterback.
And we already mentioned Andy Dalton coming off a 30-point fantasy day, 361 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, but he's got the weapon. He has his coach's trust to just chuck it, and now he gets the #1 matchup for quarterbacks. I think he can fire up the red rifle. If you miss on Justin Fields or you're worried about that Cowboys matchup, famous last words, fire up the red rifle.
Fire up the red rifle. Then,
and like, lose your week.
in a movie, it's like fire up the red rifle, or a TV show, and then the next scene is you just being zipped up into a body bag and just like rolled away.
Sounds so perfect. Sounds so right.
Let's go, red rifle.
Exactly. Anyway, I like him more than Russell Wilson and maybe even Aaron Rodgers and Tannehill.
Of course. Who don't you like more than Russell Wilson?
Yeah.
I mean, there's very few guys.
That's true. Yeah,
he's terrible.
True.
Sam Ehlinger. This is a burning question we've got. He is obviously replacing Matty Ice. Matt Ryan has said he is shocked and surprised that he's being replaced and benched. Really, Matt? Really?
After how you played.
Are you?
It's certainly
that makes one of us.
Yeah, right, exactly. Abysmal performance so far on the year. He hasn't been getting a ton of help from his line or his receivers with drops. All that to say, though, Sam Ehlinger, the reason why he's a must-watch is, 1, what's the target tree look like under him? 2, the guy's got some nice mobility, too. So that horrible line, with his mobility, that's probably why they're going to him, is that he can escape the pocket, make plays on the run. Maybe that opens up the rushing lanes. We've seen that be huge, like Geno Smith for Kenneth Walker, for example. When you have a mobile quarterback, it really makes it tough to key on the running back. So maybe Taylor gets a little more like with Sam Ehlinger. He himself, 33 rushing touchdowns when he was in college there at Texas. It looked great all preseason with 24 of 29 passes completed, 290 yards, 4 touchdowns, rushing 6 times for 71 yards and a score. Again, that's preseason. That's against backups. He has yet to attempt a regular season NFL throw. But I'm excited to see it. And if you're in a 2 QB league, the guy's still out there in all but 10% of leagues in 2 quarterback leagues. I think he could be a viable flex moving forward in super flex leagues. So Sam Ehlinger, very, very excited to see what this guy does this week. What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments, check out some more videos, and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.